$1 or less, they can have a wireless system that the smart meter dials into and listens to you with an audio bug. I remember a Time Warner installer one day was in my house, and he said, "Hey, Alex, I'm a listener, and I heard you talk about in Australia they found cameras and microphones in the cable boxes." That did happen like 12 years ago. He goes, "Let me show you the manual for this, the Scientific Atlantic cable box." He said, "You see that little mark? That's a microphone." And back then there was no voice control of it. He goes, "Look inside. You see this whole tech area? That's a remote audio sensor, and they've got systems back at Time Warner that track everything you watch and put it into a psychological algorithm." And I'm like, you're a cable installer? And he goes, "Well, I'm actually a engineer, you know, for every 20 or so of the installers, you know, they have an engineer in case there's problems, but just thought I'd tell you that." And he said, "Yeah, you can borrow the manual." And I went on air and showed the manual and got death threats. This is 10 years ago. And people were calling in going, "You are a complete lunatic. There's no microphone in my cable box." When there was a little hole and the microphone was inside. So I went on air and opened the cable box up on air, and people still didn't believe it. Had to basically break it to get into it because it's got a special tool and I didn't have it. But again, this is my frustration, is that I read the Rand Corporation talk about how they would just acclimate everybody to a security state, martial law, incrementally, until we were in deep martial law. And I saw the preparations, and I went to urban warfare drills, and I had police chiefs warn me, like police chief of San Antonio, in a sit-down video interview, because he was a patriot and former Army and had been in intelligence and knew this was what they'd been trained to do to third world countries, overthrowing them. He was approached by the Army. Then I talked to Thomas Sanchez, head of emergency management, himself a Vietnam veteran. Just so happened to have been in intelligence. And he's like, "This is what we did infiltrating in Vietnam. Well, this is illegal." They've got Marines, Army in every town. The government ships the narcotics in. It's all on record. All the police chiefs know this of any size. It's all a big joke, folks, okay? The Attorney General. Man, I saw this yesterday afternoon. One of our listeners had found it on going into the C-SPAN has put all of its videos back 25 years. By the way, Lamb, the head of it, stepping down. Online, you can search it by keywords, so people are digging through it right now. CNN did that a few years ago, and we were able to go find the stuff I'd seen and heard where the cops are like, "Get back, they're blowing 7 up. Point is, they blew 7 up on 9/11, Building 7. All these old archives are getting posted now. And you can search them now with keyword. And there is the Attorney General on C-SPAN in 1995. He was then Deputy Attorney General. And there he is saying, I've talked to all the media heads. We're going to get ads out there to teach you that you don't need to have guns. Well, now they've gone further. You draw a gun, you get arrested. There is no law, but they got juries that'll convict. Well, plus it's family court. There is no jury in most cases. So you go to jail for a thought crime. And he says, we're going to brainwash people. I mean, I remember Sarah Brady got caught on the floor of the House. By the way, this was, she was asked about this in the big Union magazine, and that's where the quotes came out. It's been confirmed. She admitted she said it, but somebody ought to search that 1993. Clinton had just got in office, and the mic was on, and she was up there by the dais during a vote, and she said, well, we'll get our socialist America as soon as we've disarmed these people. Somebody's got to go actually search that now. I bet you can find that in the C-SPAN archive. It's all been uploaded, just mega terabytes. We only had the text before. I bet we can get that. But I'll play the brainwash clip when we come back in a moment. Then I'll get into all the martial law news. But we can pull the Ted Turner C-SPAN from 1996 where he said he killed 90% of the useless eaters. Wow, you've got the power. There's millions of listeners. Start digging through their system. Aaron's always finding nightmare jewels of globalist meetings. Back when I guess they thought C-SPAN was their own private channel. Nobody was watching but them. Of course, the UN's openly states July 7th, 2000 in New York, that was on C-SPAN, that they want total abolition of private ownership of guns. It's always been their plan. And now if Obama gets reelected, of course, Mitt Romney will probably be just as bad or whoever, that they're going to, by executive fiat, go after the guns. And that's what he's announced, basically, in these executive orders. So we're going to come back and give you that information straight ahead. But criminals are in control of this government. And people that work for the system have really got to have a gut check now. Because never before has it been more obvious, never before has it been more out in the open, that we're dealing with real, bona fide, good old-fashioned, hardcore tyranny here. Better choose a side. A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even though I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months, simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out for yourself. It's incredible. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
HempUSA.org has moved and expanded its operations for faster worldwide shipping. Our product line has grown from 5 to nearly 100 items in less than 5 years. Our food is grown naturally, always chemical-free, not found in stores. Great for daily intake and perfect for your emergency storage shelter. Call 908-691-2608 or visit HempUSA.org and see what our powders, seeds, and oil can do for you.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a silver dollar in a book explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Are you having trouble paying your mortgage? Maybe your mortgage loan is upside down or in foreclosure. Maybe the bank already foreclosed on you. Don't sit around being a victim of bank fraud. Fight back. We have the tools to help you fight back. Here's how. Go to InspectorAudit.com and click on the GCN radio special. Order a summary audit. Find the real truth about your loan.
Maybe like me, you'll find your bank loan was paid off already. Maybe, like me, you'll find your bank defrauded you at the closing. And maybe, like me, you will go after them.
Did you know 78% of home loans in the last 10 years violated consumer credit laws? We should not let the banks get away with this fraud. Go to InspectorAudit.com and click on the GCN radio special. Order a summary audit today and find the truth about your mortgage loan. That's InspectorAudit.com or call 855-373-4948. That's 1-855-373-4948.
That's what it sounds like when a burglar kicks in the door of a dark house that looks like no one is home. Don't let your home be the next target. Make it look like someone is home watching television with Fake TV. Fake TV is a small electronic device that makes the same light as a real television. So from outside, it looks like someone is home watching TV. Fake TV plugs in just like a lamp on a timer, but is far more convincing to burglars. Fake TV deters burglars, costs far less than an alarm, and is highly recommended by numerous police departments. Use it anytime you're away from home. To order your Fake TV for only $34.95, go to faketv.com. or call 1-877-5-FAKE-TV. Each additional Fake TV is only $29.95, so get one for you and one for a loved one for safety, security, and peace of mind for both of you. Call 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. faketv.com, the burglar deterrent.
Another ragtag band declaring bloody war.
For liberty.
And liberty for their descendants.
Liberty for their descendants.
Thanks to the renegades.
Thanks to the renegades.
Free today.
We're free today.
Thanks to the renegades.
It is gut check time.
We're free today. Thank God for the renegades.
And I don't know what else I can do to get people out there in the United States and across the world to realize how much danger we're all in. You know, as time passes, listeners apologize to me in droves, and they say, man, Alex, I would hear you 10 years ago on the local AM station or on the internet, and I would agree with a lot of what you had to say, but I really thought you were exaggerating. But they then apologize and say, why is everything you said actually coming true? How did you know all this? And in that is my great frustration. It's all public. I've got, what, 3 different newscasts with firemen and police and others saying, get back, they're going to blow up Building 7 on 9/11. I mean, I heard CBS radio back when they were still doing news on the day of 9/11 say they're preparing to control demolition the Solomon Brothers building. And then I went on air back to the radio show because I was on at night then too, not just the day. And I said, yeah, anybody else hear them on the news say they blew it up? And all these callers called in and said, yeah, I saw it on CNN. Years later, I met with police officers in New York who said, I was there. Amy Goodman was there back when she had a local TV show. Now she has national. And there was a countdown, and they said, get out of there, so we ran. And then years after that, CNN data dumped both their channels' material from that day, so did BBC, and there was all the footage of it. Everything we'd remembered, everything we'd seen. And people are like, you despicable traitor, you think the government did 9/11. All I know is, buddy, they blew up Building 7, and it needs to be investigated. All I know is they've taken that and used it to take my liberties away. All I know is when good law enforcement sent me internal documents, none of it has to do with Ahmed Dinajid. None of it has to do with Ahmed in Afghanistan. All of it has to do with gun owners, conservatives, libertarians, farm owners, machine shop owners. I saw an article today. In fact, I think I IM'd it to you guys. If I didn't, I sent it to Watson and Kurt. But one of the biggest survivalist blogs, it now admits the FBI for months, they've now discovered, was redirecting their traffic through their own systems just to get a database of everyone who was concerned about survival. Totally illegal. Since then, no warrants. Since last year when we were wrong, we were told, oh, FEMA's not going around door to door at canneries asking about where's storable food going. Since then, it's been admitted that they're doing that. I mean, have people figured out yet? Have people figured out yet that this is real? Have people figured out that this is happening? If anybody ever wanted to know what the fall of the Republic would look like, this is it. In fact, guys, for the upteenth time, I know you always print it, I never read it. Will you print me the full, The Traitor is the Plague, Cicero, because I want to read that when I come back. I had so many things I wanted to say. I couldn't even sleep last night over this. I love to sleep. When I go to sleep, I sleep like the dead. Not anymore. I rolled around all night, waking up with a feeling of total urgency, and all these points I wanted to make, and all these pages of notes up at 4 a.m., that I wanted to talk about, and dozens of things I emailed to the producers to print off today so I could cover it. The urgency, it's all coming to a head. You see, Americans expect martial